Hello, it's been a while since I've shared an update about Abridge. What have I been up to? I've been focusing on 3 things: changing the color scheme, adding polish, and making quality of life improvements. Let's start with changing the color scheme. I received feedback that the colors for the background, game board, and blocks didn't look cohesive. Thankfully, they recommended a few solutions, and the one I ended up going with was to use a monochromatic color scheme. I generated a new color palette for each level set. Then I built a component to manage these color palettes and change them automatically depending on what scene you're in. Overall, I'm really happy with this change and how the game looks now. Next, let's talk about polish. In the menus, I animated all the backgrounds to make them a little more interesting to look at. I also added the objectives and these next level set text boxes to tell the player about the progression system. The objectives will tell you how many levels you have left to complete and how to unlock the next level set. And this next level set tells you when the next level set has actually been unlocked. And this is helpful for when you feel like you get stuck on a certain puzzle within a level set, that you don't necessarily need to stay in this level set. You can move on to the next one where there will be more levels. Another thing I've added was scene transitions. Before, there was just a simple fade in and fade out to black. Now, each level set has its own unique set of transitions that are related to the shapes that are within the level set. Within the puzzles, I've gone ahead and named each one now, and that will show up in the upper right hand corner. I've made a few modifications to the pieces. The first is that I've added a squash and stretch animation, as well as added this nice hover sound effect. Another thing I've added is when you move the pieces now, they emit particles behind them. Another thing is when pieces hit the goal now, there is a little bit of camera shake that happens. There are also stars that emit from the goal in the direction that the piece hits the goal. And lastly, when a piece, actually the last piece, hits the goal, it will now emit a big explosion of stars and have a lot of camera shake that happens. Now let's get into those quality of life improvements. And let's start with the ones inside the puzzles. When you are playing with a mouse and keyboard, instead of only using WASD to move, you can now use your arrow keys to move. So thank you to EK and Drekneck for providing that feedback in the Abridge Steam forum. I was also aware that when you are playing, that you might accidentally hit the R key, which would have reset the puzzle entirely. Instead, I've changed this to be a press and hold, and also provide some additional feedback to the player. So now when you press it, you have a timer that appears in the upper left-hand corner. And there's also a metronome chime and some camera shake that happens to indicate what is going on. And once the countdown timer is complete, it will go ahead and move the pieces back to their original positions. And I think this provides a better experience and better feedback for the player. Continuing with the quality of life improvements, I've added a scrolling background to the main menu. It will actually change colors every time you enter it. Another thing I changed was the options menu. I added a video settings, so now you can set your resolution, your window mode, and your VSync. And I also changed how you set these settings. Before they were toggles, and now I have these horizontal selectors, and I think it's much easier and much clearer of what state it is in. Another thing I changed was in the in-game, I removed the progression tab that was here. It didn't quite give the experience that I wanted, so I just went ahead and removed it. Before I get into what I have planned for the future, I want to mention something about feedback. Thank you all for the very kind words and suggestions. I really do read all of it. If you have any feedback, please fill out the in-game survey, post a comment on the Steam forum, or send me an email directly at eventidegamestudio@gmail.com. I'll put links to them in the description. Now, what do I have planned? I do plan on updating the Steam page, the demo, and the trailer. With updating the art, the Steam page, demo, and trailer are all out of date, so I'm planning to update that over time. I do want to do more of these quick YouTube videos to give you a glimpse of what I've been working on and to show the progress of the game and what's being done. As far as a release date goes, I'm currently thinking the end of September, beginning of October. There are game improvements I want to make, marketing I want to do, and testing that still needs to be done. When I do have an exact date, I'll be sure to let you know.
Time to wrap up this devlog. If you like the style of this video or have any additional feedback, let me know in the comments. The best way to support the channel is to share it with your friends, like the video, and subscribe. It really does mean a lot and is greatly appreciated. Don't forget to wishlist Abridge if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.